be Monday, before I forget. Does this belong to anyone in here? No. Okie Monday, September 29th, regular class, we're going to take a look at haikus, and then a poem called In Just. Haikus! Have you guys seen haikus in the past, hopefully at some point? And it should be a wee bit of review for you. Thank you very much. Just goes right over there. Just like that. And so we're going to do a quick review so that I can use them to beat you again, because I like haikus. They are a lot of fun. So with haikus on the paper, there's a little spot on there where it says a little paragraphy thing. We're going to read the little paragraphy thing. So thanks for volunteering, Faith. We'll have you read my little paragraphy thing.
A haiku is a 3-line poem of Japanese origin containing 17 syllables. There are 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line, and 5 syllables in the third line. Such a poem must communicate meaning through very few words and should only have one idea or topic per haiku. The subject matter of haiku is usually drawn from nature.
Nicely done. Haiku is just a short little poem. I have 3 examples of haiku on your paper there in front of you. I can put another example of a haiku. That's an entire haiku. It is just 3 lines. And it's where you have to count syllables, and the syllables is going to be how words break up. You have a number of different ways of counting syllables, if you're familiar with it. One is the clapping monkey method. And clapping monkey method is when you try and count the syllables and you clap your hands as you go through. How many syllables are in this word? And you clap your hands as you go through. You look like the happy little monkey. If you're not quite up to that one, you also have where you have your jaw drop method. And every time your jaw comes down, it is a syllable. So if you're trying to figure out how many syllables are in a word, you just have to say it and then count how many times your jaw comes down. So if you're like, is very 1 syllable or 2? Very. Oh, that's 2. How about distinct? Distinct. Okay. And so you can count it every time you do the jaw drop. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you can just do it with your hand. I can count my syllables. And so you can just sort of count them with your fingers. It's up to you. With haiku, you have a set number of syllables. Not words, syllables. How many syllables in the first line? 5. Second line? 7. Third line?
5.
Now for those of you who have mad math skills, how many total syllables?
17.
Good job. 5 plus 5 plus 7 is 17. And so it's a matter of being able to split them up. 5, then 7, then 5. Let's see, we have 5, then 7, then 5, and then... Oh! How many different things should a haiku be about?
1 topic.
And that's where it gets tricky. You cannot jump around. ADD does not work very well with haiku. You have to be able to focus on just one thing the whole way through. And then that one thing it's supposed to be about, what is the one thing it's supposed to be about?
Nature.
Yeah, it's supposed to be about nature things. Nature is anything that is outdoors, not necessarily created by man. It can be squirrels, it can be the moon, it can be trees, it can be the sun, whatever you want. As an example, I have a couple haiku we're going to take a look at up here, which are different than the ones on your paper. It says, little piggies are, you count, little piggies are, rolling around in the mud, rolling around in the mud. I hear the oinking. I hear the oinking. 5, 7, 5. It's about nature. No, Miss Brovicast, that's about pigs. That's right. Pigs are part of nature. They're animals. Mother Nature made animals. Oh, okay, I understand. And then it has one thing. It's all about pigs the whole way through. This one is a bit trickier, where it says, broken and broken, broken and broken. Again on the sea the moon, again on the sea the moon, so easily mends, so easily mends. This one to figure out requires a bit more thinking. It's talking about the beach, if that helps you out. How is it talking about the beach? Mr. Brovicast, it doesn't mention the beach at all. You're a crazy person. I am a crazy person, but it's still talking about the beach. Bumble?
Like the reflection of the moon in the sea.
Nicely done. It's the reflection. You have the moon on the ocean, and when the wave comes in, the moon breaks apart, and the reflection, pew, and the wave goes out, and it gets all still, and it goes back together. It's like magic. wave comes in, pew, wave goes out, you're like, oh, magical. And so that's what it's referring to. Once again, that's nature. Man did not make oceans or moons. And then the third one, squirrels are in the trees. Squirrels are in the trees. I can hear their chattering. I can hear their chattering. I am dodging nuts. And so helps you out that way. Same idea. Those are how haiku work. Now, let's see how well you can apply your skills. This one is a haiku, but we have a problem. Let's see if you can figure out what our problem is. It says, rocks are really hard. They are used to hold down grass. Some are just brown. We have an issue there. What is our issue on that one? Oh, golly?
There's 9 syllables in the second.
They are used to hold down grass. That was a solid try. Grumpy.
In the third line, there's only 4 syllables.
Some are just brown. Is correct. On that one, the third line has just 4. You have to have 5, 7, 5. Nicely done. Second one. The dogs are jumping. Look, a tree is over there. I just saw a fish. So what's our issue here? Simpson?
It's not talking about the same.
Yeah, it's all nature, and you have 5, 7, 5, but it's kind of jumping all over the place. Oh, fish, dog, tree, what's that over there? So you have to focus on one thing the whole way through. Last one. Cell phones are so cool. I love texting all my friends. Read my words, people! Suitor? Nicely done. It's not about nature. These, we will end up doing some of, because I like haiku that aren't about nature. I like ones that just writing them because it's all about focusing on that one idea. Usually, I do attack haikus, where you can use them to make fun of people. Slow kids, let's see, we have slow kids here. They didn't bring their homework. No reading logs now. And so we can make, let's see, tomorrow they will be standing in class. You'll see lots of painful feet. And so that's what I'm looking for. And so what we'll do, Ms. Brovicast, those weren't about nature. I know. That's why I said we're going to do ones that aren't about nature. We'll do ones that they do 5, 7, 5, and it'll be all on one topic, but we'll have to expand. But you have to know what they're supposed to be about before we can break the rules. Speaking about nature, now to the other sheet. We're going to take a look at the other handout. We're going to take a look at a poem on there called Unjust, which was over on the right-hand side. Ball! I'm going to have you do it in just a moment. Hang on. Does anyone not have it? Go over. Paper. Getting out the other handout, not that one, but the more recent one. That's the first one. There you go. On this one, with Unjust, to rewind a wee bit, Haley J., what's the stanza? Nice. A paragraph in a poem. Basham! How do we know when a stanza ends? Nicely done. There's a space. For Unjust, we have to figure out how many stanzas we have in this poem, because it's a little on the scary side. So for Unjust, how many stanzas do we have? Dixon? 5. Yo. Let's go with this. He says 5. Give me thumbs up if you say, give me thumbs sideways if you agree. Thumbs up if you say more. Thumbs down if you say less. So he says 5. Up, higher, 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 higher. Ooh, less, higher, tricky. And Paul, you go higher than how many you say?
12.
He says 12. We're going to go higher, lower, or dead on? You're saying dead on at 12? Down? You're having trouble with the pointing thing. Addie, what number are you going with?
9.
She says 9. How many stanzas in Unjust? She says 9. Ooh. We have, we'll see, all right. If that's, I see no one disagreeing yet. Everyone else just looks confused. I don't know what a thumb is. Okay. Let's find out. See if she's right. We start off. Here's our stanza 1, space. 2, space. 3, space. 4. Is this all online? True. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 4. 5. Space 6. Space 7. Space 8. Space 9. Nicely done. So 9 stanzas. So it's a little bit on the tricky side.
It is 10.
World. Alright, so let's read stanzas 1 through 4, and then we'll do stanzas 5 through 9, and then I'll read it. I like this poem because after we get done reading it, you're going to do this. And your brain is going to completely not make any sense. Like, that's not even real words. I don't know what's going on. By the time we get done, like, that poem was easy. This is that poem where we get to go from it not making any sense to me just explaining a little bit, but making a lot of sense. Because when we first read it, it's going to hurt your brain. Ball, you ready to hurt our brain? Me too. We'll have you read stanzas 1 through 4, and then Neo's going to make up for not putting her name on the paper earlier, and she volunteered to read 5 through 9. Go for it.
Alright. In just spring, when the world is
Mud luscious.
the little lame balloon man whistles far and wee, and Eddie and Bill come running from marbles and
Piracies.
and it's spring.
One more.
Oh, when the world is puddle wonderful.
One. You get one from me? Neo, keep going. Queer. It's alright, they're going to giggle. It happens every year.
From hopscotch to jump rope and the goat-footed blowing and working far and
Nicely done. No, you bought it, so it costs you more, so you keep the shoe. You're down to 10. Alright, so as we go through, I'll read it again, and then here's all I want you to figure out. As I go through, can you figure out any characters in the poem? Can you figure out where it's taking place? Can you figure out when it's taking place? Figure out those baby steps, and we'll get through the rest of it. In just spring, when the world is mud luscious, the little lame balloon man whistles far and wee. And Eddie and Bill come running from marbles and piracies, and it's spring, when the world is puddle wonderful. The queer old balloon man whistles far and wee. And Betty and Isabel come dancing from hopscotch and jump rope, and it's spring, and the goat-footed balloon man whistles far and wee. I know, right? Understand the whole thing the whole way through. Woo! If I gave you this one for the quiz on Wednesday, Miss Brovicast, it's so easy. We're going to prove it. Dixon! Good job. We're going to get to him in a moment. But first, I know, the word queer gets you giggling every time. We're going to talk about why it's in there. And why giggling isn't the end of the world. First off, let's go with when is our poem taking place? Can you figure that part out? Stir.
I just have a question. What does queer mean?
Good. Me too. When's it taking place?
You don't know what it is.
Yeah, it means not yelling across the room. Basham.
Spring.
Spring. Where's your evidence? One more time.
It says spring.
Nicely done. Where it says spring. Now the trick is where it says in just spring. So it tells us what part of spring, beginning, middle, or end. Bumble.
Middle.
Why middle? Yes, I like where you went with that. Oh golly.
Just spring. It's in the beginning.
Why the beginning?
Because it's just spring.
And what they're saying is if you were to be traveling along, and we'll say this is like the year, wait, what comes before spring? It's scary to get along to figure it out. Winter, and then you have spring, and then you have summer. If you were just going along, and so the dark part here is winter because winter is dark, and the light part is going to be springtime. You're going along, winter, 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 and then spring. We are in just spring, where it goes from winter to just into spring. Like you're just taking that step over. So you're just into the beginning of spring. And that we will start tomorrow, the beginning of spring. Also, we're going to have the poetry homework due, and we'll take a look at some other stuff from there and help you out, blah, blah, blah.